My name is George Lysak, and I am a grateful recovered alcoholic. My moment of surrender is 11/3/11. I was living in Brooklyn at the time, just didn't know what was wrong with me. I was taking a lot of medications, and I started drinking heavily and drugging again. I got 3 convicted DWIs. I went to psychiatrists about alcoholism and drugs. But when I went to AA, I wasn't getting better. I didn't stop drinking. It wasn't working for me. My first Came to Believe retreat I was supposed to go to in New York, and I didn't make it to that retreat. I went out drinking and drugging, and I ended up in the hospital. I all of a sudden just realized that I was killing myself. It was like a light moment, and I just saw clarity for a second. And I knew something was wrong. Didn't know exactly, but at that time I decided to leave the state of New York to get better. I got to, in 2012, go to my first retreat in North Carolina. I didn't have any money, and a man said to me that he would go to the retreat and they would pay for me to go. When I came to the retreat, and they said that I could have a life without alcohol, and I could have a life of my wildest dreams. At that time, I was very doubtful, but a man said to me that it's stated in the steps. And I said, well, that's not possible for me because I've always had a life of craziness. But when I got to the retreat, it altered me. It changed my way of perception. Came to Believe Recovery is a program that they made many years ago, and they keep it the same. I call it a recipe. But they do it in the format that you are recovered, not that you're recovering, not that I'm George still drunk, that I'm George Lysak, recovered alcoholic. In the first page of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says how many hundreds of thousands of people have recovered. When I kept going to meetings and saying, George, I'm a drunk, George, I'm an alcoholic, it kept that in my mind. When I started saying to myself, my name is George Lysak and I'm a grateful, recovered alcoholic, it planted a seed in my head. The seed that I was recovered and wanted to stay recovered. When I got on my knees and prayed to God, I prayed that I would never drink again for the rest of my life. When I left that retreat, that burning desire was lifted. Everything that alcohol stripped from my life, going to a Come to Believe retreat has given back to me, everything in full. It's 8 years later. I have a beautiful home, I have a beautiful wife, I have a child on the way. I have a job that I like to do. I have my family and friends back in my life. All these things I got because at one time in my life, I admitted that I was sick, I had a problem, I had a disease, and that I had to do something about it. Many years ago, I did a lot of bad things and took decisions from bad people because I couldn't think very clearly for myself. Now, of years of not drinking, everything that I was stripped and lost and cried over is replaced. How is that possible? It's possible because God will do for you what you can't do for yourself. To put someone back together that has drugged and drank and harmed and got harmed like I did, it's very hard. But this program made it possible in my life, and it can in yours.